There's a big shakeup in the executive branch of WWE, as if there hasn't been enough with last week's news of an internal investigation into Chairman Vince McMahon and now former head of talent relations, John Laurinaitis. Yes, it continues, and that investigation has now prompted one person to be moved out of their position besides Vince McMahon stepping off the executive branch of the company. Now the head of talent relations has changed, and Bruce Prichard has assumed that role. The biggest wrestling company in the world is going through some massive changes. We'll cover how these changes work. Plus, Naomi, she walked out on WWE just about a month ago, and she's already announced a non-WWE appearance. Is she done with the company? We don't know. We'll get into it. Plus, our very own, the legendary, beloved Bill Apter got to chat with Bret the Hitman Hart, and we get to cover a lot more about what's going on with that conversation, how it relates to some recent wrestling news. And on top of that, we're not done. Forbidden Door going down at a sold-out United Center in Chicago, Illinois. We'll see New Japan and All Elite Wrestling clash, but are some problems affecting the card with injuries? We'll get into it and a whole lot more. Bill Apter joining the show. You share that link or you stink.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
What's up, everybody? Watch out, watch out, watch out.
Watch out.
It's always a special day.
Watch out.
Yes, very hip and with it, Bill. Yes. It's a wonderful day whenever we get to have the legendary Bill Apter. Bill, no. It's okay. No, it's all right, Bill.
It's MC Apter up in here.
I've got
Easy Apter.
Easy Apter. Apter Easy or Lil Bill? A Lil Bill. Should we call him Lil Bill?
I got my Tic Tacs and I can't wait to watch this show.
There we go. He's got his fruity Tic Tacs ready to go. Hit the like button if you're enjoying us. Bill Apter, legendary wrestling journalist, is with us on the show. Jose G, Jeremy Bennet as well. Lot to get into. Of course, the massive news last week of Vince McMahon under investigation, along with John Laurinaitis, by the board of WWE. This is broken by Wall Street Journal, affecting the financial status of the company moving forward. In the eyes of many, many people, though, the stock hasn't dropped down a whole ton, as some people would have thought of. It's come down a little bit, but the market overall is down. So, Wall Street's responding one way, fans are responding another, and now WWE continues to respond to it, as John Laurinaitis has reportedly been removed from his position and an interim head of talent relations. It's worth noting the head of talent relations deals directly with your favorite wrestlers and superstars that are on contract with WWE and what their roles are in the company. He is basically the mediator between that person and the top of the company, Vince McMahon. All right. So he's in a very, very critical position. John was already doing that already as the head of creative. Some people saying, though, in this Fightful Select report that could be seen as a conflict of interest, that the head of creative, the guy who's writing the direction of the company, is also the person that's going to deal with the talent directly. So this is a little bit of a challenge, a conflict of interest in the eyes of some. But Bill Apter, what do you think of this whole thing? We haven't been able to talk to you since this whole scandal broke out big. This is certainly a massive story. Am I wrong?
Absolutely, it is. And, John Laurinaitis, I've known him since he wrestled as Johnny Ace. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but he's the brother of Animal from the Road Warriors, Joe Laurinaitis, and there's another brother as well. But he has been involved in talent relations for so many years in WWE. And, you always hear these stories on the internet that he's not liked, he's not this, he's not that, but he's been a very likable person to me, at least. And it's unfortunate that he's been involved in this WWE scandal that has rocked the entire, not just the pro wrestling and sports entertainment world, but the entire financial world as well. And then we put Bruce Prichard. I had mentioned in my Sportskeeda column that Bruce Prichard has been working in pro wrestling since he was 14 years old.
My God.
Yeah, so, through all his years and at WWF, his brother Love, and he's done everything backstage. So if there was anyone who could slip into any role, talent relations or almost any role back there, he is really the man for the job. So while this is all going on, and by the way, while this is all going on, Vince being investigated, John Laurinaitis being investigated, and Stephanie has stepped up into Vince's position, keep in mind that before there was a board of directors and before there was an internet, I was on the road with all these guys and thousands of more, and it was like a rock concert. You went from town to town, and what happened, and nobody ever said anything. But now with the advancement of technology and people talking and rumors and everything, the whole world has changed. And unfortunately, it's a blow to the WWE at this particular time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think technology has played a huge, significant part in this recent shakeup, crisis, whatever you want to call it, scandal, because of the transparency of social media, of how well connected everyone is nowadays. I mean, the stories just get out, at the speed of light. Last Friday was a great example. When we woke up at 7:30 in the morning, it's already been 12 hours in the news cycle because we already saw all this unbelievable news that just passed by in the first half of the day.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, keep in mind that Bruce Prichard, even though he wasn't in the Laurinaitis position, he still dealt regularly with the talent. Talent would go over to him asking for advice, etc. Laurinaitis was in that talent relations department, but it didn't mean that the guys wouldn't bounce ideas and things off Bruce Prichard and some of the other people in the back, like Paul Heyman and the other people who've got that brain for dealing with the talent.
Now, I've heard rumblings of some things, but nothing that we can concretely report. People that know the industry well, know how WWE works. They've worked in WWE. I'm not in a position to cite any of these people as sources, but, it's worth noting that we had Stephanie McMahon go on hiatus a month ago with this shakeup recently, Bill. She now is the interim chairwoman of the company.
Yes.
And Vince McMahon is still in creative. There's a lot of people on the outside looking in. You have Vince McMahon appearing on SmackDown on Friday, out of nowhere, unadvertised appearing on Raw.
Yeah.
And the outward picture is that, yes, this is an investigation, but clearly, you have some people playing chess here, and other people are playing checkers. What do you think of this whole scenario with the shakeup? Is Vince really out of power at this point, or is it just, a puppet thing?
It's a first of all, a lot of people have mentioned this to me, and I agree with this. It was a genius move for him to announce that he was appearing on SmackDown on Friday, because the ratings went through the ceiling as soon as people knew about that. So no matter what he's going through mentally with the scandal, what can we do to get the ratings up? How can we do this? Maybe I should appear. Seriously, I mean, this is how his mind works. Stephanie is, knowing her personally, she's very capable of slipping into that job, but don't think that her father doesn't have her ear to at least maybe say, well, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that. Although I really think she's business savvy enough to run with a lot of these decisions. A lot of people also think that this is going to be the end of Vince McMahon, and Nick Khan is going to be the supreme leader, and Stephanie stay in that spot. But the only time you'll see the end of Vince McMahon is, like he said, when he's 6 feet in the ground, and maybe not even at that point.
Certainly an interesting scenario. I want to talk to Jeremy. Jeremy, you were at Raw last night.
I was.
And you got to go to it. It seemed like it was a fun show, very eventful show, some consequential stuff happening that really set up Money in the Bank and set up some qualifiers. I thought this was a solid Monday Night Raw. Not one of the best, but a solid one, I would say. Now, there's some things you got to see. What was the general vibe in the crowd? Were people talking about this thing with Vince? What was that reaction? It seemed like you got a really big reaction when he came out. Mind you, fans didn't know they were getting Vince McMahon, and they popped for something they don't know they're getting, right?
Yeah, that was the thing, because it was reported at SmackDown that the pop wasn't that big for Vince. That they piped a lot of that in.
Really?
But on Monday, it was pretty loud for him, and I think probably because it was the surprise factor. But then people are like, what was the point of this? Just like much like Friday, what was the point of this? And
well, and in that spirit, I did want to jump into the quick highlight of my day, which has been the incredible response of the internet. The internet is still undefeated, guys. All right, so I got to show you guys these pictures, because
these are the memes.
At least we'll know that the memes generated here in my state.
Yes,
the American meme, if you will. The American meme.
Yes,
You know what the wrestlers, Jeremy, would have said about that? They have internet in Nebraska.
Oh, yeah. My favorite I don't know if you have it, Jose, but my favorite one is the get out of jail free card.
Yes, I do have that one. So this is the main picture. This is Vince McMahon jumping off, his the steel chair, the steel stairs.
Phil from Fightful said that last step is accountability. He was just jumping over it.
He looks like
then someone created this.
I love that. That's my favorite one.
Someone created that. Then someone went even further and decided to, add him into a skateboard park. So we got another one with a skateboard. So the internet is still undefeated. I mean, we see Vince McMahon, hitting that ollie, and if that wasn't enough, Vince McMahon was also spotted at the local, trampoline bounce club. Okay, and you can see him, taking some nice leaps and bounds there.
There he goes. He's at the bouncy house.
That is not the only place he was found. He was also found in at a Hell in a Cell. He time traveled.
You know what? I never believed that this guy, Vinny, that I met when he first started out, Vince McMahon Sr.'s son, I never believed that here we are looking at this ages and ages later, and he's a public owned figure at this point.
Oh, I know. It's incredible, right? Like he could be a meme, he can be a joke, he can be a gif. I mean, if you watch the most recent episode of Obi-Wan on Disney Plus, you saw him having a battle with Darth Vader.
Oh, yes.
So Vince is everywhere.
But you know what? The crowd did pop very hard for him mentioning that John Cena will be back next week.
Yeah, why can't he come back to last night? Come on, man.
Oh, well, that's just because you're there. That's all you want, Jeremy.
Yeah, you didn't want to steal my thunder.
It is worth bringing this up here, Bill Apter. This comment here from Daniel Price. Vince McMahon, I assume he's talking about Vince, isn't going anywhere. The fact that he came out both on Raw and SmackDown, verbally shoved it in everyone's face, that was him telling you he's not budgeting.
Absolutely 100% correct. He was stuffing this into people, showing that nobody's going to take me down. I'm going to be here anyway. And that's, like I said, even when they put him 6 feet under, he'll still be around.
Yeah, we'll have a robot, cyborg Vince.
He'll be like one of those heads in a jar. Futurama.
Fired.
So that's where we are. There's no update on the investigation per se. This thing could go on for a very long time.
Oh, it has to. Sure, legally, it can't just, pass over quickly.
Lawyers wouldn't get paid that way.
But also, like, it wouldn't be a sound investigation. It wouldn't be accurate. It wouldn't have any of the things you want in it. And if anyone's like, why aren't they done with the investigation right? That's ridiculous. Like their murder investigations don't get solved.
You know what? Don't put this past them. We've got the July 6th hearings. The January 6th
hearings
going on.
Yeah,
exactly. Can you imagine if on the WWE Peacock Network Premium,
don't give them the idea.
They put Vince's trial. If this goes to trial live,
oh my god!
Can you imagine
NBC?
This is the hottest thing since Johnny Depp and ever heard.
I played the fifth. Damn it!
I would not be surprised.
What about tonight, guys? Victor Nash is asking, do you guys see Vince showing up at NXT?
No, because it's taped.
Yeah, it's taped already.
Well, not only that.
Hey, he could show up in a taped segment. He could show up in it.
This was taped before all that dropped. So
I know, but if he wanted to, he could just tape a promo and have it put on the show if he wanted to. If he really wanted to.
No, I don't think so, because he isn't really shown much involvement in that brand.
No,
and I
agree with you.
And there was a Fightful Select article that came out in regards to this. A lot of people joking that Vince only knows 3 people, because he just hires the same people for every position in WWE. And some had concerns because now the guy that is your creative buffer between yourself and Vince McMahon is now the one that has to approve your leave and things like that. So there was some concern about that as well.
What do you think of Bruce Prichard being put in this position in the shakeup now? I mean, what real power does Stephanie have as the chairwoman? What real power? I mean, mind you, Bruce is already an influential figure in WWE ever since he's been back. He was an influential figure when he was out of WWE. And he's back. Yeah. And I've heard things. What do you think of the shakeup? We have some veteran talent here. Stephanie, Bruce, Jeff Jarrett joined the company a month ago. I've already heard some people say that his role could change.
They will mesh together really well during this period of time. Really, it's a transitional period for WWE, and I think that the thing that's happening with McMahon and John Laurinaitis is over here. The big picture is keeping the business together, keeping the TV shows going, and keeping the show flowing, which is why Stephanie McMahon is in charge there.
Chavez saying this is a pretty accurate description of him. Vince McMahon is the definition of a defiant and brash man. He took on the government in the steroid scandal with Hulk Hogan testifying against him. Vince isn't shook that bad. It's worth noting there's no legal criminal charge against Vince in this. I mean, obviously he could lose his role in WWE, and that would be a very certainly change the industry of professional wrestling without him involved at the top, being the manager of WWE.
What would you say? It's sports entertainment.
Sports entertainment, professional sports entertainment. I'll go with that.
Right. Vince hates professional wrestling.
Yeah. So we also have news that has come together over various different days here, and it's worth noting that a lot of people that are in the law firms of financial terms, where they deal with fiduciary law, have put out press releases to any wrestling website that will run them about how they want to get a class action suit going with WWE shareholders, and about 5 different lawsuits. Or 5 different law firms have publicly published and pushed articles and pushed different messaging that they would like to reach out to those people and get some type of group lawsuit action against WWE for the vague term of management disclosures and different things that we've already seen in here. And, are they breaking the policies of the company and different stuff like this? This is something that WWE deals with all the time. If they weren't dealing with this lawsuit, they'd be dealing with another one at this size, right?
Yeah, I mean,
it's funny that you mentioned that, because I received an email about that. It was like, if you are an investor with WWE that had more than $100,000 worth of losses, call us for for one of those class action lawsuits. And I'm like, well, I didn't.
Ambulance chaser.
Yeah. Do we cheat him, and how?
You know all about ambulance chasers down in Florida, there, Jose. That's on every damn billboard.
My name is Jose Gonzalez. If you've been injured in a recent accident, call me and I'll get you the compensation that you need.
Bottom line is so many companies, like these companies you're talking about, are trying to take advantage and get on the headlines about, how can we get involved in this?
Well, it's worth noting that the interest in WWE is up with the casual viewers as we're getting raw numbers as we're on air. Average overnight viewership, not a complete rating here, was the highest total viewership for Monday Night Raw since April 4th. The show scoring nearly a 1.9 million viewership. And obviously, if you're near a 1.9, there's going to be some quarter hours of that show that cracked 2 million. This would be a very high show. It'd be increased 17% week to week, a 27% boost, and the 18 to 49. It was number 1 in the night for persons 18 to 49. It also gave a bump to Ms. and Mrs. after the show. So interest in WWE with the scandal up. Is it the scandal itself, Bill? What do you attribute it to?
There's a lot of young wrestling fans that this whole scandal does not relate to. They don't get it. The kids who watch this,
or they don't care.
Right. They really don't care.
Or the kids got into the Johnny Depp thing, and that's why they're interested.
Yeah, well, that's possible too. But then again, I think what people are looking for is to see what happened. Is Vince McMahon going to show his face? And they got it.
True. I mean,
everybody loves a scandal. Everybody loves a scandal. And this is a very salacious.
There's no such thing as bad publicity or good publicity.
No, because a lot of the guys used to say, "I don't care what you say about me in the magazines, just spell my name right."
Someone was involved in a scandalous possible exit from WWE.
Unquestionably.
Yes, was Naomi. She walked out with Sasha Banks, who reportedly was released from the company, though the company has not confirmed it. Neither is she. Sasha Banks, her status, as we know, still suspended from WWE. She has announced an upcoming appearance. It is not related to WWE. Give me the details on this, boys.
Naomi will be found on the Next will be on the ETV series Celebrity Game Face that's hosted by Kevin Hart. So she'll be featured on an episode there. I'm not sure when that was recorded. If it was,
I would have to assume that was taped a long time ago.
Yeah, because there's other WWE personalities that are going to be in that episode as well. But of course, ever since this has dropped, she has removed all references to WWE from her social media. So it still remains to be seen what the future holds for her. And obviously, I mean, they haven't officially announced Sasha being released yet either, even though everybody thinks internally and externally, everybody thinks that's a done deal. So who knows?
I still want to believe. I haven't heard anything official from WWE, so I'm still believing. What about you, Bill?
Yeah, I think that keep in mind that she's married to a Fatu. And they're a very large influence in the WWE, and there's probably a lot of discussions going on between she and her husband and WWE that we don't know about.
It'll certainly play out, and how this is going to be something that influences with her. Obviously, with the word we're hearing, Sasha Banks is out of the company. It's just a matter of finalizing some term for that release and how that's going to be done. I don't think that's going to be an easy term to negotiate. I do think it's a little
more lawyer stuff.
Yeah, more legal beagle stuff, right?
Right. Maybe board of directors will get involved in this now too.
We have a huge pay-per-view coming up this Sunday, which should feel bigger than it is.
You're covering it for us, aren't you?
I am going to be there. I'm going to be right in the media pit with Tony Khan himself for the media scrum following this Sundays. What'd you say? What'd you say, Jeremy?
Moshing with Tony in the pit.
Mosh with Tony.
But Kevin will be covering this officially.
Yes.
Very nice.
We're all going to be moshing, wearing our finest suits and all that good stuff. United Center sold out, biggest wrestling market in North America right now. Hell in a Cell was here a few weeks ago. And they're going to have a lot of big stuff on this show, but there's some names missing from it. CM Punk, injured as the AEW World Champion. He's on the shelf until sometime later this summer, and what bad timing you have there.
That doesn't mean he won't be there.
He'll be there, but he's not going to be in action, right, Bill, as far as we know. And then on top of that, we have some big names from New Japan. This is a super show with AEW and New Japan together that aren't going to be a part of the show, as more information came out about Kazuchika Okada, dropped the IWGP World title recently to Jay White. Some people were thinking he would be a part of a big match on this card. It doesn't seem like that's the case. He has a child on the way, potentially very soon. Tetsuya Naito, huge name, leader of the LIJ faction. He's getting an eye surgery. He will not be on this card. And then there was some concern possibly that Daniel Bryan, to WWE fans, would not make this card as well. So huge names that you want a part of these big cross-promotional matches that just aren't in play. They're just not there for circumstantial reasons.
We're going to be doing an exclusive Sportskeeda interview with the women's champion, Thunder Rosa, later this week, and they have not announced who she'll be defending her title against at this point. Who do you think?
I mean, there's a lot of players here. I think Toni Storm is the lock at this point in terms of matches she's won, people she's beaten, and that's the way you should go. You know, elevate somebody else. We've had enough of Britt Baker in the title picture, and that's Tony no shot time. At Brick. Yeah,
no, not at all. But I think it's Tony time. I think there's a clear understanding that people are starting to get a little bit tired of Britt Baker. Now we got a bunch of new faces that we didn't have a year and a half ago. So let's get some of these women an opportunity to shine as well. Not to say that Thunder Rosa isn't doing a good job, but I mean, let's be honest. Her title reign has been not very good. It has been kind of lackluster. So we'll see. But I'm one for an advocate for Toni.
Well, it's a new title reign.
It is.
So by the way, if any of you have any questions you would like me and Brad Gilmore to ask Thunder Rosa on our interview sometime on Thursday, the deadline would be Wednesday night Eastern time. You can send that to my Twitter at Apter1Wrestling. It's APTER and the number 1 wrestling, and I'll make sure we ask them that.
Yeah, and that Thunder Rosa Toni Storm women's title match confirmed. That was last week on Dynamite.
Oh yeah, that's already in the books. Yep,
it's already in the books. What do you think of this, Bill? This is a big super show. I mentioned the names you don't have there. A lot of politics with this because you're going to have some, cross promotional matches. Who comes out on top? I mean, technically, this is an AEW pay-per-view. But the billing is AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling on this together.
Yeah, it's sold
a
out.
lot of expectations to meet with a card like this, while also trying to hey, we don't want to come out the losers.
But
on this.
It's sold out, right?
Yeah.
And this is huge. Chicago's very lucky to have had Hell in a Cell, and now this. But I think the AEW fan is more of that fan than a WWE fan that loves to see the guys from Japan, Mexico. They like to see that. So I think this is going to be a very compelling show, no matter what the matches are. They're all going to be terrific. I hope Brian will get in there with Zack Sabre Jr. because I saw him in Europe several times when I was there. And when you talk about technical wrestlers, he against Brian would be incredible.
They're going to stretch the hell out of each other.
That match expected to be announced tonight. Tony Khan confirming that Bryan Danielson will appear on tonight's AEW Dynamite. Yeah. There was some concern that he wouldn't be medically cleared to compete for this card. So, I mean, that is a boost to the card, but also the build to this has just been kind of mishmash. They're putting matches together. There's a storyline.
It doesn't help that it's a month out from Double or Nothing.
No.
Not at all.
Not.
Yeah. And that's always been the difference between AEW and WWE in terms of the build to these pay-per-view shows, premium live events and stuff like that. Let's talk about this, Bill, your recent interview with Earl Hebner, and obviously a man who was the referee of one of the most controversial wrestling matches of all time, the Montreal ScrewJob.
Yeah, first of all, this was taped a week before his brother Dave passed away, so I want to send our condolences, of course, again, from the entire Sportskeeda family. It was a great interview because he's been a friend of mine. I've known him forever since the dual referee situation with Hulk Hogan losing the title way back when. But he and Bret were in the same building at the Legends of the Ring convention, and there I am with my Sportskeeda baseball cap. And we talked very seriously about that. He couldn't sleep for years and years and years until he made up with Bret. He never forgot that he was asked to do something by the company, by WWF back then, and screw Bret Hart. And he went ahead and did it, and he always felt guilty. But he and Bret have come to terms with each other, and years ago that never would have happened. But now it's what we were asked to do. It was a job.
Well, we do have a clip of your interview where you guys are talking about Bret reconciling with Bret Hart. So we're going to let this play for a little bit so the audience can watch it. And guys, head on over to our YouTube right now because it is available live. You guys can watch the full interview. But let's play this clip so the audience can see what Earl Hebner had to say from his own mouth.
Yeah.
So how did you smooth that over with Bret after so many years? Because it was such a long time, and it changed the entire business. I mean, it also made Vince McMahon probably the most hated bad guy in the history of wrestling.
Well, it took a long time. It took actually Bret and I just started actually become friends again probably in the last 2 years from now. 2 years ago.
How did it happen?
I was at a show and he was at a show, and my brother was with me at the time when he was healthy, and we just sat down and Bret said, I know it wasn't your fault. You were doing what you were told. And I said, well, I'm glad you understand that now. That's what I've been trying to tell you for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But Bret's a great guy, and it is what it is,
Did you
So, guys, go ahead and check out the full interview available right now on
not
our
just
YouTube
the guys,
channel.
by the way. The girls can go watch it too, right?
Everyone, the ladies,
Everybody
the
when we say
gents,
guys.
whatever you identify as, yes, persons, people,
Right.
humans.
Yes, people with red blood come and watch our show. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I always do that because when my wife and I used to go out to eat, the server would come over, can I help you guys? I said, she's not a guy.
Definitely go check it out. It's up now on the channel. We are making that march towards 31,000, just a couple hundred subscribers away from that on YouTube. Check out our Twitch channel as well. Wednesday night, we will have Getting Over with Twitch. It's our exclusive Twitch show every Wednesday. That's a little bit of a debrief after AEW. You can check that out as well. We have a WWE GM mode that we play, and we kind of have a promotion we're running together on the game there with Jeremy and Jose G. You guys can dictate to us while you're in the chat what we're doing there. We're going to do some watch-alongs this week as well. well, so keep your eye out for that.
buddy.
I know we have the diehards who watch Top Story. A fresh episode of Legion of Raw is up with Shannon Moore joining the conversation along with Vince Russo. That's pretty sweet. And a new weekly show with Vince Russo and Road Dogg Jesse James every Friday called Wrestling Outlaws is just debuted on our channel. All of that, plus Friday nights after SmackDown and AEW Rampage, Dutch Mantel joins us with Smack Talk, Rick Ucchino and SP3 on that show. So tons of content. We'll have that AEW interview with Thunder Rosa dropping later this week. I will be live on Sunday night from the United Center. I believe if
that's
everything
nice
holds
to
up.
know he's not going to be dead. From
Yes, I will not be dead at I don't want to be dead at the
No, I hate when there's a news report and like 9 people are dead and they'll go, well, now let's go to a live report.
Oh no.
You're all about that wording, man. You're all about that wording, Bill.
Horrible. Editor.
We're doing a post show there too, aren't we?
Yes, we're doing a post show. We're hopeful that we will be able to live stream at some point as well from the United Center. So
yeah, we're gonna
that'll
be
fun.
we got a lot of stuff coming up this weekend. Not only with the Forbidden Door, in a few weeks we got the Money in the Bank stuff coming as well. We're gonna do the live stream for the Money in the Bank this Thursday night. We're gonna be doing a classic throwback for Money in the Bank, and then we also got a lot of stuff coming for you guys. So appreciate
get
you.
that whole 2-screen thing ready. So you're gonna be on Twitch with us on one screen and then on another with somebody else.
And by the way, guys, I am about to drop my first interview with Wrestling with Mindset. So go ahead and follow me, Jose G Official, at Wrestling with Mindset on Instagram and on TikTok. It's going to be a great one. That's all I got to say. It's going to be
with
great.
you doing it, it definitely will be.
Hey, and by the way, Bill, you know how I know it's great? Because you can't teach that.
Boom. There you go. I also suggest you check out that book that is over Bill Apter's shoulder right there. It asks
you talking about this one right here?
Yeah, it's a very compelling question. It's a very compelling question. Casual Talk wants to know, is wrestling fixed?
Never knew it was broken.
Oh, I got that book.
Yes, you have the book. You wrote it,
Bill. I hope you have it.
I did. And edited by Greg Oliver. Nobody ever mentions Greg Oliver edited my book. I had never done a book. I'd done magazines for my whole life. And without Greg Oliver, I never would have been able to do this book. So thank you. If you're watching Greg Oliver, that's for you.
Absolutely. Go check out the book. People shouting out you for the Hall of Fame. I would absolutely agree. You're in several Hall of Fames now, aren't you?
Actually,
he is joining a Hall of Fame pretty soon.
Another one coming up. I'm in 18 of them already now. 18.
That's incredible, Bill.
18.
That's amazing.
And it's in my lap. It's in the other room.
Where do you keep all the plaques?
Okay, hold on. I will be right back.
Oh, wow.
You think I'm kidding? Hang on. Don't talk about me while I'm gone.
We're trying to sign off. Legendary wrestling journalist Bill Apter wants to show us his trophies and awards.
And by the way, here's a tour of Bill Apter's Apter Cave. You guys can see
the Apter Alley.
Belts.
The Apter Alley.
You can see the championship belts.
Got the karaoke machine.
He's yelling,
got the karaoke machine in the background.
Yeah.
For you guys in the podcast, what do you say?
Hold
in the background, he yelled,
First of all, wait a minute. It's Apter's Alley.
Apter's Alley.
It's been Apter's Alley for 20 years. So let's see if we can do
I was
this.
thinking of something else.
We had a ladder in our basement.
Okay.
Now, if you can see the ladder.
Oh, wow.
No, don't, Bill, don't hurt yourself. Don't go up a ladder for us. That's unnecessary.
Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can get you over. Can you see the ladder with all the plaques on it?
Oh, my. That's all awards?
That is a lot of plaques.
That's my ladder of success.
That is so wonderful.
That is where I put my my Hall of Fame indie. And I will be in Charlotte, North Carolina, the weekend of August 4th through the 7th at the Wrestling Gathering put together by T-Mart Promotions. And usually that goes back into focus when I do that. By T-Mart Promotions. And I will be getting a fan award for Focus of the Year. I will be getting a fan award along with Paul Ellering and a bunch of other people. And then J.J. Dillon, well, thank you. And then J.J. Dillon and I will be hosting the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame banquet in Albany the third week of Albany, New York, not Georgia, the third week of August as well. And that's what one of the belts you see behind me is.
Still making the towns, Bill. Still making the towns. I love it.
You see this? The that belt was given to J.J. Dillon and I as the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame Tag Team Champions.
There you go. Tag team
Beautiful.
champs.
Beautiful.
So
Love
that
it.
was my ladder of, that's where all my different, right?
And in July, Bill will be inducted into the Nebraska Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Yes, thank you.
I will be in attendance for that.
That'll be pretty cool.
I'll be there for Bill.
Wait a sec.
Uh-oh.
One more thing.
Apter's Alley, not Cave. Jeez.
By the way,
We're trying to sign now, Bill.
By the way, check out his fancy karaoke setup back there on the right.
In Apter's Alley. Not Apter's Cave.
Yeah, not Apter's Cave.
Apter's Cave. Apter's Cave is the Wish version.
No, there's never been an Apter's Cave. In all, the Nebraska Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame sent me this beautiful.
Oh, that's wonderful. Look at that.
Oh, that's
What a
awesome.
beautiful gesture. That's
Isn't
great.
that nice?
There you go. It goes right over your shoulder. It's not
It
too
does,
heavy.
and it's the same color as the shirt.
Good,
Oh, didn't even
a
plan
good
on
class that Bill's in there too.
Yes, that is my my music behind. I come down here every night for about an hour, and last night was Tracy Lawrence. The night before was Kenny Chesney. Barry Manilow was the night before. I pick a singer and do all my stuff.
There you go. Absolutely love it. Give him a follow on the Twitter machine at Apter1 Wrestling. Check out his articles as well at sportskeeda.com. Google Bill Apter Sportskeeda. It'll pop up. A lot of great content coming this week. And give us a follow on all the social media you see there on the screen, on Twitter, on Instagram, and of course on YouTube and so much more. Snapchat, all that good stuff. Wherever you get your content, we're there. Spotify, Apple, podcast. Thank you guys so much for making us #1 in Israel, Ireland, putting us on the charts in India as well. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. Remember, when watching wrestling, do the most important thing. Enjoy wrestling. But when you're at those matches, what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to just not say hi to anybody?
No, you're supposed to have your Tic Tacs.
Get your Tic Tacs. I'll see you at the matches. And remember, when you're watching wrestling, do this very important thing, which is what, Jeremy?
Enjoy wrestling.
Yeah.
What?
Then check out all the news on sportskeeda.com.
There we go. He's a professional.
Max. Do.
Watch out, watch out, watch out.